What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege talking to mi hermano. He is the director of operations and marketing for Engelbright Promotions, as they are heading this Saturday to have their very first Lucha Libre show. It is literally transcending the combat sports world. I have the one and only Fernando Lepe. Fernando, what's going on, my man?
Brother, thank you so much for having me, man. And man, I'm just excited and looking forward to this September 24th event on Thursday, which is going down at the OC Fairgrounds in the city of Costa Mesa. I'm just so happy that the show is still a go. It's kind of hard that I know that most people probably are still thinking like, wow, is it really going to happen? But yes, it's going to happen. Um, and, it's just right now I'm excited. Yeah, there you go, man. I just been so busy, bro. It's been a lot of like build up and adrenaline kicking in, a little bit of stress, of course, because I'm doing a lot of that work preparing for this event, which is really, really unique in its way. But yeah, man. So please ask away any questions, and even for those watching live, please let me know any type of question you guys might have. I'll be happy to answer it with the best of my knowledge. And yeah, man, ask away.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, obviously, right now, because Engelbright Promotions, for the most part, has been known for, Roy Engelbright's kind of reputation in terms of the world of boxing is synonymous. The world of MMA, it's synonymous. And him and Drew have done so many awesome things in the world of combat sports, right? And this is
Yeah.
being their first foray into the world of the squared circle of lucha libre, right? So
Oh
obviously
yeah.
right now, in terms of the athletic commissions and what have you, what I'm hearing, and this might be absolute hyperbole or it could be absolutely true, but I'm hearing for California State Athletic Commission to kind of give their blessing, it's a $40,000 fee just for COVID testing for all of the employees and the faculty and the fighters to get.
Security that creating the bubble, having to do the additional exams that come with the fight. Obviously the fighter when he comes, it's not one fighter. It's a team behind him supporting him. Your cutman, your coach, your manager, what have you. So I mean, and in the long run, what people don't necessarily understand right now is that even though boxing and MMA is back on TV, yes, it's back on TV because those companies rely on that network money, on that streaming money. That when we subscribe to the Zone or ESPN, Showtime, what have you, they count with that support to obviously fulfill a contract or an obligation with the network. Um, with us, we are considered the kings of the minor leagues, for example, and in the world of professional boxing and MMA. And when I was, I heard back in May, because we had to cease operations back in March when the pandemic hit, and we said, okay, no problem, we're going to be back in May, July, and resume operations. But obviously, that's not the case. So then we heard that once we got the clearance to go ahead and resume back the operations, start doing boxing, MMA again, there was all these other costs, these other guidelines, restrictions, and really, really, what it does is that it's hurting the local scene. It's really hurting the local market of professional boxing, professional MMA. Some people may not understand it, but come on, man! Like when your governor says you can't sell tickets, it's really hard for a promoter to even profit. So it's like that's the promoters that put on the shows or the local promoters on the fight scene. They rely a lot of that fighter selling tickets. The fighter has to come in and bring some type of value. So in this case, with what we had to do was we had to pivot, and we're like thinking, okay, well, what can we do to still give our loyal season seat holders, our VIP suite holders, our sponsors, right? Continue to do a show. We're not giving up, and that's the thing about Roy. He's just always just so many miles ahead of you. And then, I mean, I'm learning how to catch up with this guy, or with my boss. But I have so much respect for him because, I mean, I've learned and how to pick up so much things. So anyhow, going back when I first came in full time this year in February, I had already started pushing the idea of doing a pro wrestling show. And I was telling them, hey, is there a chance that maybe you guys could give me a budget and we'll do a show? And they were just like, yeah, they weren't saying necessarily no, but for what was on their plate and their schedule, I mean, we were talking about well over 21 events, bro, throughout the year. It was going to be killer. Putting on shows at the casino, at the Hawaiian Gardens Casino, putting shows obviously at the Garden Walk, Anaheim Garden Walk, doing the private shows, doing the Marconi Museum shows, the Fight Club OC shows. I mean, Engelbert Promotion has that reputation for expanding out and opening new markets, and obviously not only with just pro boxing and MMA, but also they've done it with kickboxing. They've done it in other types of combative sports. So I was thinking, okay, cool. They said no. Around March starts hitting, right? We're doing our Marconi Museum show, and we start seeing in the news that, okay, this is kind of getting serious. All right. And I even said to them, like, hey, well, can we at least throw him on the next Fight Club OC and do like just 3 grappling matches? Like, I get some solid top independent professional wrestlers from SoCal and give them certain rules that they have to listen to. And they have to, if I'm paying you a fair amount of money, I believe in exchange, you got to listen and take order. And I'm trying to direct a vision, something different for the SoCal professional wrestling scene or the Lucha Libre scene. And what a lot of people sometimes may not know is that I am a second generation professional wrestler. Now, I'm not gonna tell you who I am, because a lot of people don't know. Like, okay, I never seen this guy wrestle. I've seen some videos or whatever, but anyhow, um, I do wear a mask, so you never know. You never know, right? So, and that's the whole thing. I always like to do that whole because growing up watching as a kid, watching Spider-Man, I've always said, okay, I love to have that alter ego. And I have my alter ego, which I also respect. But that's where the wrestling or pro wrestling started to grow, and me starting to push, for these events. And so anyhow, once we got news in May, we were like, dude, we got to do something. And I said, okay, I know what we can do. That we could get away from the commission because they obviously don't regulate professional wrestling. There's just not their cup of tea or coffee. Hey man, we still have a market. Why not give me a budget that I could, a good budget that I could work with and bring the best SoCal independent professional wrestlers, but not only from SoCal, but eventually, across the states, but also from Las Vegas, former WWE wrestlers or former NXT or ROH, whatever you have, But the idea is to build a strong card so that the moment you arrive from match one all the way to the main event, it's just like a roller coaster ride building up for that big moment, for that that home run finish. Um, and what's going to be different from it is that, we have rules. One of them is no closed fist. You're not allowed to throw a closed fist. Um, and I say, well, I worked over 100 events over in Southern California, over in other states, right? What have you. Done it at a local and national level. Now that I've had that perspective, that eye for seeing what the fight fan wants is they like the contact, they like for stuff to look good and solid, they like to be entertained. So what I decided was, okay, well, I started doing my research. I started digging up old school wrestling matches. When Dark Side of the Ring came out with the Bruiser Brody episode, dude, it opened my eyes, and I'm just going, oh my god, this is so cool, because here I am listening to the story of Bruiser Brody, right? And how just like his presence coming out, and I get goosebumps, bro, because I could just picture him, and I know that he was a character that people just like, oh my god, like this is the real life like Frankenstein, or what have you, the closest monster that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when you're able to do that, have characters, and base, like movie characters, and base them or incorporate it to your wrestling gimmick, it does something to the fans. It engages them and gets behind the character. Now, with that being said about the no closed fist, I also heard from Al Snow, who I got to do a shout out to Al Snow also because I am a student of the Snake Pit Pro. I hope he is watching this. But he said one thing, which is, why you're throwing a punch? If you're throwing a punch, then it becomes a fight. And therefore, if you're throwing punches, then you might as well be doing MMA or boxing. Do something that's regulated. So what he did was he made me think, well, he's right. We could throw different types of striking for wrestlers. You could do the chop, right? Boom, you chop it. Like, oh man, that hurts. You feel it. You heard it, right? You could do the European uppercut. Boom, straight up. Right here in the muscle. Make the contact. Push them off. You can make the forearm strike, which is popular in strong style and is popular in Japan. You could do the knee strike. Just no close fist to the face. Again, um, I feel that you're allowed to do a karate chop if you want to the neck area. That's fine. Even to the you could do your karate chop to the forehead. Back like Ricky the Steamboat when he would jump off and come down. You
Torque,
know, uh,
Litany, the original Stab Steamboat, actually, that cross chop right there,
yeah. Also, I believe, like, looking, man, we have a new market that hasn't been burnt out from real bad shows, okay? Real bad shows in SoCal. And because, again, one of the things is that I believe is the promoters, because they are so already like settled and like just used to like saying, okay, well, this is what I can do, and like they're not looking to further their company. I'm looking to create a platform and further my company up. Like that's the main goal for me. Another goal is to set as an example and say, hey guys, you know what? I'm providing ambulance, right? We're providing ice and water. We're providing an insurance. We're providing the rooms if you're coming out of town. We're giving you gas money. We're paying for your COVID-19 test. We're making sure that if you need a special custom-made athletic Lucha Libre professional wrestling mask in order to perform on state property on the fairgrounds, don't worry, we'll do that. We're willing to accommodate you because we recognize your talent. We know that you have a value, that obviously you can bring to the table. But obviously, we're going to give you these rules, which is again, no close fists. Because if you don't hit the guy too, I also think it's like they're gonna bull your ass out of that drive-in. They're gonna
yeah,
just stop believing in you. Let's be realistic. When you go to a magic show and you see a bad magician, it leaves a bad impression, and you go on with that, right? And you're like, man, I won't go to a magic show again because he sucked. So if you keep going to many of those, eventually, what happens is that the fans, the real diehard fans of wrestling, they rather watch MMA, they rather watch boxing because they're not playing around. They're not wasting time. I speak with passion. I'm not speaking with any type, and with all due respect to, again, anyone that's watching, any old school wrestling promoter. Look, man, I think it's time, for change, and it's time for an evolution. That we need to go back and recognize, hey, man, this is where wrestling started. Let's go back to its essence, to the foundation, and slowly start seeing where did it start falling. Where where did it start declining? Why? Was it the talent? What was it different? What did the new wrestlers started exposing? Because that's the terminology that we use, exposing the business, meaning you're doing something incorrect. And I believe that there are no such things as bad wrestlers. There's only bad teachers. Because, come on, man. Look, Herb Welch, he trained, Dr. D, man. Come on. And he was we would have good matches with Hulk Hogan. I mean, just many different stories that, again, if you're a wrestler, right? And you say I have a following and I want to be on that show. Okay, prove it to me, because if you want to come and say, oh, I'm worth $1,000, well, for me to fork out that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, $4,000, $5,000, you better bring back that ticket money. You better bring back in that value, because it's like I'm not gonna put out of my pocket. Just I gotta at least break even. So if the fight, or I mean not the fight, but if the match doesn't make sense, then I'm not gonna book it. And I'm not the booker. Let's just make clarifications. I'm more of the guy that's really finalizing the fight, the not the fight card. I'm sorry again, because I'm just so used to saying fight week, fight card. I just been so involved throughout combat sports for like 6 years. It's like it just gets accustomed to it. But anyhow, the bout sheet, like I'm the one that is like looking at it. But truly, there's this guy that we hired. Well, not this guy. Sorry, my respects. Um, and I apologize on that, because this man, he's a pioneer, I would say, of the Los Angeles area. When he brought the style of lucha libre that he did, he was really, him and his brother were the ones that really like started like becoming stars on the local scene. Of course, there was other little stars, but I mean, they're just like other people, to have them being recognized by other people in the industry was like a no-brainer to hire this person. This person is Mercurio, and Mercurio was hired on an agreement where we had him say like, "Hey, dude, you can match make for any other promotion, okay? Just like you would like a matchmaker. So if you're working for us, you're working exclusively for us on that agreement." And trust me, like I mean, it's right now we're going back and forth, because he's asking me like, "Hey, there's a change of room needs or whatever," and then I have to rely that, and or hey, we were able to get this so and so wrestler or such and such, or this guy couldn't make it, he couldn't, because of job obligation, what have you, right? But he's doing a good job, and I'm surprised because for someone that he's not always going to the shows and like watching this, he knows what he's doing. Like he knows, and like I think he's been just at home watching online wrestling matches. And again, I mean, I almost think he also has to have his own podcast show, like like a Jim Cornette review show. But it would be the Mercurial review show, where he's just kind of like just talking about what's going on in the wrestling scene, what needs to be changed. Because truly, I believe that in order for us to when I see a promotion that can't even fill up a ballroom with 300 people, that's kind of scary, because it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, are you? And that's another thing that I learned from Roy, my boss. He says, don't be a penny wiser and a pound foolish, something like that of that nature. I want to say, yeah, don't be a pound. Yeah, don't be like, yeah, yeah. I want to say something like that. But in terms of what it means is that when you cheapen out, you're also cheapening out your product. You know, when you have wrestlers that want to work for free, then you get bad product. You're risking that. And luckily, Mercurio has been doing a good job. He sends me videos. He's making me, it takes up a lot of my time, to be honest with you. And as we're getting closer to the dates, I've noticed that it's like, oh my God, more phone calls I got to deal with, more handling of the operation, making sure it's nice and smooth. And, I'm catching on to that good habit of making sure everything is finesse. It's going to be solid. And yeah, man. I mean, it's not. I'm not sure many people know that this is also going to be a drive-in event. So yeah, man.
No, so I mean, to me, it's kind of innovative in a couple different aspects because obviously, I mean, Southern California, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir because Southern California, whether that be independent professional wrestling or regional MMA, we we're basically doing fights every weekend, sometimes
Hmm.
3 times in a weekend, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
there are times that you guys would run, Hawaiian Gardens, and then the following week you guys would run obviously the Garden Walk, and then every Wednesday,
Yeah.
consecutively
And
there would be, the
yeah.
the Fight Club OC kind of crown jewel
Yep.
at the Costa Mesa Fairgrounds, right?
Yeah.
And then all of that went away. And so too, at the same time, we had the independent wrestling scene. Promotions like PWT and bar wrestling for different reasons,
Yeah.
obviously, but
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
went away too. So both what was thriving pre-March combat sports scenes in Southern California, whether you call it MMA, whether you call it Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, pro wrestling, whatever, and then mid March, it all got yanked away, right? So
Yeah.
this, theoretically speaking, is the first kind of local card of any sort of combat sports in
Yeah.
SoCal since COVID.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's with fans. Yeah. Despite of their coming in, like, look, you have to look at it like this. I'm surprised that out of our 550 loyal fans that are there with us, that are pulling with us through this, pandemic, they accepted the concept, because I prepared a good promo video. I actually clipped and edited some stuff from the local, from the local SoCal scene, and I really had to like kind of convince my boss, like, hey, like this is gold. This is on like right now. It's like no, it's a hidden gem that we need to like take advantage of because of this pandemic or whatever, and these guidelines, restrictions with the California State Athletic Commission. And so I'm looking at the window of opportunity. To be honest with you, without hairs on my tongue, but it's just the reality of it. I mean, I'm just saying like I saw a chance to bring a different style of combative art form or entertainment. And look, let's be realistic. Would you still want to be waiting until after November, hoping that you could have gone to a show and thinking that everything's going to get back to normal? Look, I'm not talking about politics. I'm just saying that if you see things moving and if you already see that the minor kings are pushing forward to do something, that should already tell you something, right? That, I mean, trust me, we tried, it was an uphill battle. And even then, dude, even when we like, they had our even though when CSAC gave us the blessing, go ahead, do the show, thank you. Now we had to deal with the fairgrounds. And the fairgrounds, they're like, yo, so what's your protocols? What's your procedures on this? And we were like, dude, we try to throw every little wrench in their book, to their book or whatever, as well. Like, come on, let us slide, let us and they're I get it. They're state property. They want to be saved. They don't want to be in the news that, they expose people to the COVID-19 and that it spread it because Engelbert promotion was reckless or whatever, what have you, right? So that's why we're testing our wrestlers. We're testing them. Anyone from the timekeeper, announcer, the wrestlers, the staff. Obviously, we're working with a limited amount of staff, but it doesn't compare to the amount of people that it comes with boxing, MMA. So obviously, when it comes to it, hey man, the only way of sustaining a company, to be honest with you, is that in order for Engelbrecht to still provide a platform in the coming year for whether it be kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA, even in the amateur fight scene. Like you guys have to understand, right now wrestling is providing that sustainability to keep the boat floating because we've taken many hits. We cancel tickets. How else can we do it? So we have to find a solution to still keep our doors open, to still keep running and not go out of business like we've seen gyms. We've seen fighters like retiring. We've seen, dude, like it's just left and right. I mean, it's crazy. And it would be foolish of me not to talk and say, hey guys, this is what we need to do, instead of saying, yeah, let's do shows and let's see how it goes without selling any ticket sales, not having a live stream service to, sell any type of pay-per-view or subscription. And even that, I mean, it even gets lost because, it's like getting a pay-per-view. Come on, dude, you're going to pay $50 when you have other things that you can pay for $10 cheaper, right? But then even that, even if you could sell 10 downloads as a pro fighter or as a pro MMA, 10 downloads, right, at $10 or whatever. Well, yeah, like what if I'm your one supporter and then say, hey guys, all those other 10 people that are coming to my house, I'm gonna have a big barbecue and we're gonna watch the fights. But yeah, those 10 people could have been your buyers too, your supporters. So it gets kind of like diluted in a sense where it's like it's tough, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, like the only way that the local fight scene is gonna be fixed, or we're gonna see it back, it's when CSAC finally decides, okay, you know what, we have to change certain rules, regulations, restrictions, what have you. Um, and yeah, man, like when it came to doing the show, we were even thinking about doing inside the hangar, bro, with social distancing. Like, dude, it was a constant modification, and I'm just glad that the hard work is going to pay off because it really will. When we were looking about doing the show inside with social distancing, they go, okay, just make sure that you have the chairs marked off and whatnot, and okay, cool. Then Gavin Newsom came out. Sorry to throw out his name, but our governor pretty much said, "Oh, no indoor gatherings." So okay, so even with our 550 loyal people, they still decided to go like, okay, so now let's try to put him outside. Not exactly the hangar, but we're gonna try our best to still deliver a show. Then we try to do that, but because the number of people that we have at our show and the way that it's said is that the OC Fairgrounds receives instructions from the state, you know, and they have to obviously listen to what the state is saying. And so the state say, hey, no mass gathering. Dude, we went up to the dictionary. We looked up the meaning of a mass gathering. It said 1,000 people. We have 550. They still said no. So it's like, oh my God, man, what can we do? And then we're like, okay. I think someone from the fairground suggested it's like, well, we're doing these like these drive-in concerts or whatever, and I'm like thinking, okay, I got it. Why don't we put the ring on top of a stage and yeah, like, on top of a concert stage, bro, like like they're like a rock band would perform, and have a big screen, have a trust, with the lighting, and we'll still incorporate the ring card girls, instead of like going in for the rounds, we're just gonna walk out the red corner, blue corner wrestlers. We're still gonna have a timekeeper. Everything is still gonna be related to the fight scene, but the only thing that's changing is the entertainment aspect of it. And yeah, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I just get so excited and I lose my thought, man. I mean, but yeah, the drive-in, bro. I mean, it's crazy because the drive-in concept was where we nailed it. Where it's like, all right, we're gonna do it, and we have color section rows. Everything is color coded with rows. People are gonna come in. They'll see their guy with if someone's in. Let's say you're in the. Well, I don't know what I sent you. I sent you the Green Pass. Did I hook you? Okay, media. Okay, so you get a special front row in the house seat type deal. Okay, I got you, baby. Yeah, but yeah, like for example, the first, like the first rows and stuff is like for our VIP. Then it's second rows for the season seats, and then it's sponsors, and then it's obviously trade deals or whatever type of exchange we do for the company. And then it goes on to our regular, whether it be someone, yeah, whether again it's through our channels, through the people that we know through. If I know you, and it's not because we said also too, no ticket sales at the door, and no tickets to the public. But really, if I know you, if a wrestler knows you, we could squeeze you in, because also another thing too, we're keeping it under the 250 mark, which right now we have about I think 25 spots left. I'm surprised that even someone from Port Wine is coming down to watch the product, and people from San Diego, bro, they're coming down from Oceanside. So I mean, it just tells you that people want to come out because they know that the card. For those of you that know the wrestling community, you know that the show is stacked up. And like I said, I take pride in any type of work that I'm doing. When it comes to this type of responsibility, I know that from the moment you're driving in, it's like you're gonna go watch a movie, dude. Right? You're gonna see the good versus the bad. You're gonna see the weirdness versus the normalness. The wackiness versus the crazy exciting. Like you're gonna see a little bit of everything. And that's a thing that I've always tried to like say, man, it would be so cool that if like more MMA fighters, more professional boxers could be a little bit more I guess not to character, but built a character so that people can associate you and keep following more. Because that's what I think sometimes. Like, you know, uh, yeah, you might have an alias. You might be known as the Mamba or the Killer Hunter or whatever. But I think when you incorporate something that's more realistic to things that have been there in the past, and people tend to associate that more, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's that. Oh, Sasquatch. Yeah, that's that big tall dude. Yeah, Sasquatch. Yeah, I remember him." And it sounds so like, but it's like Frank the Sasquatch, Miller or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just like people will be like, "Oh, okay, now I know. I know now. Like that's gonna be the guy. And also too incorporating a character, whether it be like a mask or something, just something as a quick intro. Like, I mean, I think now like Deontay Wilder, he did it for his last fight, and I know he uses this as an excuse that the gear was too heavy for him or whatever. But come on, you didn't hear the Gypsy King saying anything when he was coming out with his gear and everything. I mean, so I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just yeah.
No, so I mean, we're obviously because we're all trying to figure out what is the next step, not just you know personally, but professionally and what have you, right? So, the folks obviously we're talking about the season ticket holders for Bright Promotions. This is kind of an exclusive event, so there's not going to be anything sold at the door. Not going to be walk up business, and I mean to kind of curb the folks that I mean, you talked about the 550, but I know when you get a mass of people, there's going to be some kind of hesitance, right? Even though they have made their money, their hard-earned money for the opportunity to view not just this event, but everything that Bright Promotion has done,
Yeah.
and what's going to do in 2020. So, I mean, what are some of the protocols that you guys had to make sure that were enforced for the fan experience?
So when it comes to the fan experience, it's like we're asking them to, when they come in, they drive in, they can, remain in your car, obviously because of the social distancing. We've learned from other auto concerts, because now that's like the new term that we learned this year. I'm not sure if you know, but woo. Anyhow, yeah, these auto concerts. What it is that you basically drive in, and you're technically not allowed to leave the car, or you can, but if you could go and stretch out, go out to the restroom and then come back and just enjoy the show. But the cool thing is you're not there just waiting, and idling. Like, no, dude, like you can bring your drinks, you can bring your food. And check this out. From the moment the first car is making his way into that parking row, there's gonna be music bumping, bro. It's gonna be like a party, bro. Because why? Not only are we gonna have a DJ, but this is also one of my close friends, DJ Oscar Lyrics or DJ Lyrics, who also knows how to turn up the house. I mean, he's played at top rank shows. Golden. He's also done the 360 shows. He's done the Triple G shows. I mean, this guy, when you're out there, and doing that, those boxing shows, and you're having a good time, yeah, that's one of the guys I'm bringing into this game as well. So that way, when you're there, the show starts at 7. You're gonna be like, damn, that hour went fast because I was already getting in a good vibe. I was like, boom, like this is it puts you in a good state of mentality. So that's the idea. It's like, welcome. It's good to see you, man. Woo, we're excited. Are you ready? Yes, get ready because tonight we're making history and you won't forget it because there's going to be more than two. I'm pretty sure, there's going to be 250 cars, bro, because that's still not counting the wrestlers and their invites, their guests, because they're also allowed. So if you imagine, I have 20 wrestlers, you're adding about another 20. So, I mean, we're literally looking at right there, right at the 250 mark, if not a little bit more. But hey, man, don't tell anyone.
Oh,
There you
secret.
go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, in terms of it, because obviously for those kind of condition to, the AEWs and the WWEs of the world, right? I mean, this is going to be a purely lucha show, right? Something that is flavored of south of the border, so completely different style. But I mean,
Well,
they're used to commentators, they're used to pyros and all of these things, right? So
yes.
to kind of engage that kind of fan experience, I mean, what are they going to see in terms of, are there going to be like an in-ring announcer to kind of
Oh yeah, of
an
course, of course.
wrestler coming
Oh
out?
yeah, most definitely, most definitely. We're gonna have our ring car girls who are gonna be tested as well. Our announcer is gonna be tested as well. The timekeeper tested as well. Promotion staff, and again, very limited staff. Because we know how to run an operation with very limited staff, but we make it happen. Um, and in terms of the wrestlers, they're getting tested, so everyone is going to be safe. I know you sent me your results. You're good. Run that. We have other photographers that are going to be there that send me their tests. And that's the thing. Anyone that you see out there floating around that's actually walking around the stage or whatever, they've been tested. But the fans that are going in the fairgrounds, there's also, they're going to see a sign that says, hey, man, if you're experiencing these symptoms, um, be aware that you're entering this fairgrounds and there's a liability, and so you're also accepting that. So it's like we're covering, just like the fairgrounds is covering their butt, we're doing the same thing, and obviously for the fans. So yeah, man. When you're coming in, when you're coming in, uh, if you want to, let's say, go to the restroom, stretch out, just make sure you're wearing your mask and you're groovy. If there's anyone right now that wants to hit you up and say, hey, man, Adam, I just saw that interview with Fernando Lepe. Can you still squeeze me in? I live in Fullerton or Santana or whatever, and if you want to check it out, and you're a fighter, MMA alumni of the Fight Club OC shows, whether it be a boxer, please, we would love to, so give you that platform, even just for a quick second, so to remind you that, hey, we haven't forgotten about you. Thank you for all those, the hard work, the fights, the countless hours of training, the coaches that made that platform possible. But now, like I say, now it's our turn, baby. Now it's our time for professional wrestling to really truly make a stand and make a mark on the SoCal scene. We're making history with again the innovative style of doing a drive-in. You go, instead of watching like I said, a movie, you're gonna go see a live combative form of entertainment. I know people are going to take their families, and they're going to, there's going to be kids that on that night they're going to believe and engage, cheering on for that guy, uh, going up to that top turnbuckle and doing the backflip or doing a crossbody or doing a running senton, or just anything that obviously makes sense and that makes logical, and be like, okay, I could get behind this because Roy Engelbrecht has a reputation, and we have to live up to that standard. And that's where I know that I said, man, it's a sort of a double edge, because if you don't do it, you're doomed, But if you succeed big, and the company will realize, hey, man, we're going to continue opening new markets in other, whether it be San Diego, whether it be Oxnard. And the whole idea is that I want to create already established, known local wrestlers, because obviously that's what my wrestling lineup consists of. And the thing is, I want to make sure that, again, if you're a, if if I know that there's this upcoming wrestler and just needs that extra push for him to get signed, for him to get, a tour in Japan or wherever they may be, for them to succeed and further their career, my job is to bring that former star, bring that wrestler that still has star power, and put him with my upcoming guy. Go head to head, whether he draws, whether it's a close win or whatever. But ultimately, is how, in the end, how was that match? Like, how was it that the people said, "Damn, dude, we want to come back, man. We want to come back." And here's the thing, too. You know, um, we're looking at the stage, and obviously, possibly next month, because it's October, we want to do something a little bit more unique. And I'm already in the talks of bringing in the Vampire Warrior Gangrel, and that's something I've been in the talks of. I've told them already, because of the him being a vampire, being known for the WWF and his time in the WWE. I still believe that he still has that value. He still carries on that weight. And it's like just like you would in any other sport. He's a former professional, a former champion. He's a former, just it's the same thing. Just I'm using the formula that's made the Engelbrecht successful, incorporating into professional wrestling. I've been work like I said, I've worked local and national levels, and even for me, dude, there was a time in my life where I was getting depressed. I was feeling bad about myself because of not getting the push, not getting paid what I thought was fair for my time. And I believe that I always took pride in my professionalism. When I would arrive sometimes earlier than most guys. I would show up to training, I would still be there. I would show loyalty to some places, but when they don't show you that value, you got to move on, and or else you can't grow. You can't spread your wings and be the eagle that you need to be, soaring through the sky of success and achievement. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's me, man. Like, I knew that my wings were earned. They were not given to me. I busted my ass, truly, bro. I've hurt in my neck. I've hurt in my lower back. I've hurt in my knee. Like, and all for it, for what? For sometimes where it was like, dude, I wasn't even like, okay, really? You're this is like a slap in the face what you're giving me. But obviously, that's what I'm changing, because everything that I saw from every other promoter, I said, okay, I need to change that and make sure that when they leave on that night, on Thursday, September 24th, the wrestlers, I know that they're gonna shake my hand and be happy with what they're getting, and they're gonna say, when can I come back? So that's all I know, and it's opening obviously a market for talent for them to come in. I'm already getting hit up by through these booking wrestling agents. They're hitting me up. Hey, I got guys that can come from Mexico. Hey, I'm getting guys from Canada. Hey, so I mean, it's getting really interesting. The floodgate has been open for at least the professional wrestling scene. And again, the whole idea is, when you have a good product, good wrestling matches, great, and I wouldn't get too much into like having guys talk and overkilling storylines. We have to do stuff that makes sense, and when we do that, we're gonna have a loyal fan base, even the newcomers, even for the ones that we had a refund this year, or even move them to next year. Guess what? Those 40 that we lost, okay, cool. We still got 510 fans. Then when you pile them up in the cars, guess what? That's 225 cars driving in, and like I told you, if not 250. And and again, it's with fans. It's that experience of finally coming out with your family, seeing a show, and who knows? Maybe next month we might be able to do it outdoor with seating. It just depends, man. I mean, like, we're always looking for innovation, and looking to move forward with new ideas. Um, and obviously, if UFC Fight Pass is interested, we come into an agreement, dude. That's the next step. Why not, right? Why should UFC Fight Pass only stream professional MMA and boxing? Because guess what? They're gonna discover a new type of wrestling. I'm bringing in that strong style mentality, where it also meets again the logic and the psychology of how the match should be. I'm gonna talk about the timing of those matches too. Like our ref are gonna be, they're professionals. I'm not really getting anyone that has 7 years or less in the business. Everyone in there, I'm telling you, like from the main event, we're talking about guys that have been in the business for like 25, 30 years. Then it starts dropping down to guys that have been in the business for 15 years, guys have been in there for 10, 8, and then it just again it's just like stops at 7. But you know, I know what I want, and I'm gonna get it, and we're gonna deliver it. That's for sure.
No, I love it. I love it. Now, I mean, my goodness. I mean, this card, right? I mean, this is essentially one of the reasons why we're doing it is the card and the wrestlers that are going to be featured on Thursdays. So, um, if it's okay with your matchmaker Mercurio, like, could we could we get into some of the aspects that we'll see on this card?
Well, I don't know about getting an interview with him. I mean,
Oh, no. Like talking about the card, like
oh yeah, yeah. We can talk about the card and in that aspect. Yeah, of course. Um, what I know is like their first match, which is what I believe is a clash of power brawler versus the speed and that skill of moving fast in and out. You got Principe Indu Jr., who is a second generation professional wrestler who's been already wrestling for about I want to say 7 years now. You have Legacy, who's also a excuse me, I want to make that back up that statement. Principe Indu Jr., he's a third generation wrestler, not a second generation. He's third. Three generations. Yeah, it was his granddad, then his dad, and then it's him. And then we have Legacy, who's also again he's also a third generation wrestler. And when you have that already like in the bloodline, like it's like seeing The Rock in his early stages as Rocky Marvia, or seeing other wrestlers at the start, and you're like, wait a minute, this guy's so talented. How? What's in their blood? And you can't go wrong with that as an opening match. Two guys that really want to make a name for themselves. They're hungry for that success and have their hand raised at the end of the night. Um, our second match is the Flecha Fugaz versus Chaz Herrera. Now, what a lot of people probably don't know is that Chaz Herrera trains with Mike Quintero, who is the
yeah.
CXF heavyweight champion. So Chaz has a background in judo, in jiu-jitsu. He actually has combative knowledge. So um, that's why I decided to say, well, Chaz, we gotta name you something different, something that's gonna catch on, and I believe the fans are gonna enjoy it because I seen your videos. I seen his videos training, and I went like, dude, you're really good at this judo stuff, and I'm like, oh, I got it. That's it. Chaz, the judo specialist, Herrera. And I told him, look, to incorporate a little bit more of the realism of the fight world, let's have you come out with the gi, to incorporate that. Hey, man, you're coming from that background, but now you're going to step in, and like when you take off, like Superman, turns into his alter ego, but he's taking off and he's turning into Chaz Herrera, the judo specialist, and he's facing not only a slacker. No, this guy ain't no joke, man. He's gonna make sure he's gonna give you your money's worth. And I'm talking about Flecha Fugaz, or the shooting error. With him, I've seen a lot of his Krav Maga videos, like a lot of his, obviously, of course, his Lucha Libre style, but also a lot of his grappling. And his grappling, for him, being a guy that's, I want to say, 220 pounds or 235, he's a pretty solid dude. He can move fast. You'll be surprised when you see those guys going at it. So I believe having that clash of judo versus wrestling and the jiu-jitsu, like I think these guys are gonna be like it's almost gonna turn into like a little bit of MMA, but a lot of the grappling that you would see in a normal MMA fight, and I just obviously, like, look, like I'm gonna tell the boys, hey man, you guys gotta feel each other out, and if you know that this guy's trying to hurt you, then you hurt him back, like that's just it, man. You can obviously, you're in there also risking your life. I mean, people also die of a bad fall. If someone doesn't catch you, you can die. Like If you don't land right, you could break your neck. You could literally seriously. Why do you think WWE says, "Hey, don't try this at home"? Come on, man. Like it's not a joke. Like they've been sued multiple times because my kid saw the WWE the wrestling fake stuff and like oh well sorry now you live and you learn right. But anyhow, moving on with the next match is Los Bandidos, Tito Escondido, Ron Rico. Yes, the team of Los Bandidos. These dudes are training out of the Santino Academy. These dudes are literally dominating over the tag team division in the SoCal scene. Um, and man, these guys are strong. You know, these guys are real brawlers. To be honest with you, too, they like to try to gain the upper advantage if they can. And I've seen their matches; they really will try to, try to cheat if they can get away with it. But at the same time, I'm putting them up against a real challenge, and I'm talking about Team High Risk. These young men, um, the team of Simon Lotto and Stephen Andrews. These two young men are would want to say the proteges or the last students, of the Young Bucks. So you got a tag team that is also like in the same footsteps of the Young Bucks. They like doing their high flying moves, their innovative, dives and what have you. So it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be a cat and mouse chase. Um, moving on with the fourth match, which is Sin Bodhi, who, for those that don't know, he is formerly known as Kasarni. Yeah, Kasarni, yes, which he would do the Carnival Freak, you know. And yes, the Carnival Freak will be at my show or at our show come Thursday. He will face Brandon Gatson, who also I truly believe is that one guy that I have a lot of faith in. And I do believe, within next year, he's going to be signed, with WWE or ROH because, I mean, like I said, he needs that push, man. And I decided why not give him a real challenge. He's pretty much showing to the SoCal fans, um, that he's a good wrestler. He's competed with guys like Scorpio Sky, Ryan Taylor, a lot of the top, talent from around SoCal, Las Vegas, from Oregon, bro. He's been around across the U.S., Mexico. He's been to Canada. I mean, he's done a lot of great things, but I still think like, I wish him the best. I truly do wish him the best of luck come this Thursday because it's not an easy match, bro. You got a guy that it's been he's been in the big leagues, and he's not gonna be. It's like seeing, for example, uh, I wouldn't compare it, of course, to like Lomachenko or Pedraza, but obviously, to a certain caliber or to a certain degree, Lomachenko coming up, Pedraza being already a former champion. So it kind of I play to that where Brandon Gatson, a local upcoming superstar, winning for that, winning to face that former champion and lined up to move up in the ranks for that title, that main event title, that we're gonna do. So anyhow, getting on to the co-main event. Um, we have a real special match, which I believe is also going to be a little bit of a comic relief, but also, hey, this was fun and this was cool. I'm talking about the match of Che Cabrera, Fidel Bravo, La Revolucion. It's a reunion. They haven't been a tag team for like 2 years, and now it's like, hey, you know what, guys? I want to see if you guys still got one more round in you to prove, yeah, one more match to prove that no more rounds match. But I want to see if you guys still have it as a tag team, and if not, then we'll see how they get along once they're up there. It's really, are they going to be able to shake off the rust because they're going up against no easy comers. We're talking about Los Luchas. So Los Luchas are also guys that have wrestled the Lucha brothers. They wrestled They wrestle
Former
Ken.
NWA champions, tag team
Huh?
champion,
Yeah,
former
yeah. I mean, like these
tag team
guys, you know, they were also champions with the NWA. They were, like they do. Like I'm telling you, these guys are high flyers, bro. However, here's one thing about that tag team. Unfortunately, I do have to let the audience know, and obviously, there's no surprises. Um, I'm speaking with the truth now. If you guys look at our website, it says that the bouts are subject to change or matches are subject to change. That happens because you know not everyone is going to be able to make it. Some people are training just like you would prepare for your fight. There's injuries that happen, and so what happened was I was on Saturday. I was training over in Medina's gym over in the city of Downey, I believe, close to borderline Southgate. And we were training. We were all happy in a great mood. And we're taking it easy. Somehow, Phoenix Star got hurt. Sustained an injury. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to partner with Socre. So I'm sending my prayers out there to Phoenix Star. I wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully we'll see him finally team up with Socre next event that we're aiming to do possibly in October 15th or the 22nd. The date is still yet not confirmed, but we're definitely gonna know as the dates are approaching. Anyhow, though, check this out. I do have a special type of wrestler, and this type of wrestler is also what I want to call the comic relief, and that is gonna be my friend, who I know from Osaka, Japan. We had the wrestler known, or he was formerly known as Ebesan. Now he's wrestling as Kikutaro. So Kikutaro is gonna be there. So he's also, and that's another thing too that I look up, that I look at a wrestler. Do you have a following? But because we're trying to pull and generate eyes and viewership into our product and let you guys know like this is what's going on. So because Taro, he can wrestle and he understands strong style, he's gonna make you laugh, but when you try to take advantage, he's gonna come back at you with that strong style. Um, and I think he's gonna be able to have a good match with Fidel Bravo. I think Che Cabrera and Soccer when they meet and clash, like I really like went over that match and thought about it. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, bro. It's gonna be cool. Now let's move on with the main event, which is the most important match of probably man, the century for professional wrestling and in the local SoCal market. But man, I mean, I'm talking about um, you know, sorry, excuse my language. I'm talking about the LA fuckers. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, I'm talking about that stable or that group, which is kind of like the resemblance of the NWO, resemblance of like the Wolf Pack, resemblance of like the Latino World Order or the Bullet Club or what have you. Like these type of factions or groups that they are, in my eyes, for the lucha libre and even possibly professional wrestling. They are, if not the top guys of SoCal. They are the old dogs, bro. Like they just don't want. They're like, bro. They're like the four Undertakers that just won't leave, bro. Like they're just like, dude. Like they give so much, and I'm learning so much from them, and learning how to grow and learning how to become, if not as tough as them. But I said, you know what? Like we need a champion. We need, and that's the thing too. This match is a four-man elimination match. So it's a complete elimination match where the winner or the wrestlers have to eliminate each other until there's only one wrestler left in the ring, and he'll be declared the new Fight Club OC wrestling champion. So yeah, and let's talk about those competitors. We're talking about Piloto Suicida, the suicide pilot who's been to Japan, Canada, Puerto Rico. He's been to the East Coast, bro. You name it. You're gonna talk about Acero Dorado, bro, who's also a strong, another important team member of the faction. You also got the killer whale, Shamu, man, who's also a strong heavyweight brother who's literally, I think he's literally like made guys cry, made dudes like cry in the back dressing room, like because they like couldn't take a job, they couldn't take a form, dude, like, and they think it's, that wrestling is, just just some high school fun or whatever, some even like little kids game or whatever, Now the last important member, of course, too, is Doctor Evil, Doctor Maldad, who, despite of how you may look at his weight, you're like, damn, for 245 pounds, I didn't realize this guy can move that fast. I wouldn't believe it until I was there. But dude, it's just I'm talking with passion because I'm so excited because it's like finally it's like when you have four of the top guys that really no one can get a win on these guys, right? Because always someone is coming out and beating the crap out of the, like if one guy is getting his ass kicked in the ring, if it's one of the LA fuckers and they're getting like hammered, dude, I just see two guys running like it's like a pack of wolves, bro. They're in there and they don't care, bro. I've seen them take over tag team divisions. I've seen them become FMLW champions, AWS champions. I've seen Lucha Libre champions. Like, dude, these guys are the shit, bro. Not to put it like that, but it's the truth. They are the standard. They are the standard, bro. And what better way than to have them fight for the most prestigious prize that our company has given? This belt that is the Fight Club OC, wrestling champion. Because obviously we have Fight Club OC, pro boxing champion, Fight Club OC wrestling champion, yes, MMA champion. But now we're gonna have a wrestling champion, of course. So everything is like, dude, I'm telling you, bro. Like everything that I've been doing is like I've taken the good, left all the bad from like what I don't need from like boxing, MMA, and I'm incorporating into wrestling and just seeing it how it's growing and like, dude, right when we thought that, like, okay, that's it, man. Even wrestling is dying. I'm like, we only see shows with limited number of people, or not even that, just guys like wrestling at the gyms and just trying to get a PayPal, tip or something. It's really tough. But now it's like, okay, it's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be tough because even though the demand is there, the supply is like really big because everyone wants to come in now. They want to be part of this, and I get it. But I do say this. Karma, man, karma. Oh my god, I love that word because it taught me a lot. With the people involved in boxing and MMA, it taught me a lot in combative sports. And even those that thought I was gonna leave and like, he ain't gonna nobody, he ain't gonna be somebody. Look, hey man, I'm just telling you now. I didn't sit back. I kept pushing forward for knowledge. I was hungry to succeed, and still to this point, I'm gonna keep pushing forward in the company. Like, what I'm saying? Like the wrestling ain't gonna leave next year. This is gonna keep growing. So if it's at least once a month, we're gonna do the wrestling, and let's say it'll be a Thursday night regular Fight Club OC, and then on a Saturday we'll do the wrestling. But we're gonna give you guys try to do now back to back shows on that. Even if it's a Friday night, we're gonna have the hybrid shows of boxing, MMA, and then the following night come in and watch professional wrestling. And trust me, we're not gonna disappoint. We are not gonna disappoint. You are in for a treat. You're in for an experience that is very unlike unique in its own way because again we're making history. We are doing this. The ring is going to be on top of a concert stage, or a platform. We're going to have a trust. We're going to have the lights. We're going to have the DJ going off when as soon as you come in. We're going to have Mike Hart, our regular Fight Club announcer, and news anchorman up in the Bakersfield, Fresno area. We're gonna have Clark Hills helping out the ring card girls like he always does. We're gonna have Roingerbeck checking in the wrestlers. We're gonna have Drew, helping, and everyone is just doing something and trying to do something right. And it's cool because I've been reached out by a couple of people, and they said, "Hey guys," or they told me like, "Hey man, if you need me, I'm ready. I've also reached out to a couple of my personal friends. I'm like, yo, man, get your butt ready, bro. It's on, and like I'm preparing them. They're like, dude, I thought, like, we weren't gonna do this until next year. I'm like, oh no, no, no. There's always some mastermind behind, these events. So yeah, man.
That's tremendous. Now, for those who haven't already done so, where can they find out more about not just this particular event, but everything going down with Roy Engelbright Promotions?
They could tune in to socafights.com. Um, you can check out our website. For those of you guys that have a hard time spelling it, let me help you guys out. It's S for snake, O as in Oscar, C as in California, A as in America. Fights, FIGHTS.com. And you know what, too? Here's another thing, too. If you were the ones that couldn't make it out to the show, we understand. However, if you guys tune in to my channel, my Facebook page, or yeah, my Facebook account, right there, Fernando Lepe, go ahead and send me a friend request on that day of the show. I'm gonna do my best to live stream, or if not, you can tune into his show right there. Yeah, right there, right down there. Yeah, according to Woods, as we both will be trying to live stream the experience. So that way you get a feel for it and see, wow, this is now I know what's all the hype. Now I know what's all this about. And of course, Adam, dude, I gotta thank you, bro. Like, I mean, you kept it, under the, under the rug or whatever. You kept it, and it was boiling over time, and it's come to its moment where it has to, we have to just feed it to the audience, man. They're gonna have an amazing night, you know.
Man, I can't wait. Thursday can't come soon enough. My goodness.
The
Uh,
hours, bro. The hours are counting down, bro. I like
yeah,
literally it's like at night and like, oh my god, dude, it's just I
it
see
is.
it.
It is. But
Tomorrow I gotta be at the fairgrounds, bro. At the fairgrounds at like 8:30. So we're gonna have our parking crew, or the people are gonna valet you pretty much, or not valet you, but direct you to your rows. We're gonna practice with them. We're gonna have the ring come in or at around 4:30. So I'm gonna be there with the ring guy later on that day, making sure that there's no hiccups. Murphy's Law. We gotta make sure that everything is running smooth because we're gonna live up to that standard of professional and the most fun you can have in Southern California on a Thursday night. So yeah, man, like I'm just so excited, bro. I've been tested almost twice already. Like, come on, like, dude, it's crazy, man. Like, I've even shown videos like, shoving that thing down my nostrils, like, but I'm like, dude, it's worth it because it's like ultimately, don't I want to be known that I'm safe at home as well? Like, I'm not going, and spreading the virus to my family. So at least it also gives me a sense of peace of mind. And dude, I mean, it's just I'm telling you, man, it's like it's you guys gotta tune in. I might not do the live commentary because I'll be moving around a lot, and who knows, I might even forget my phone where I ever have the station at. But it happens. I mean, I'm gonna be, with the golf carts from the stage all the way down to the dressing room and back or whatever. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. Wednesday, we're gonna have the wrestlers go into the office, get tested. We're gonna be ready to disinfect anything. We're gonna be wearing our masks. We're gonna have a doctor come in from 4 to 6. He's gonna be doing the PCR nasal swab test. So within 2 hours, we will know if you have the COVID, if you tested positive for COVID, if you not tested positive for COVID. But once we get those results, I can go ahead, send them out to, or just file them, document it, and be ready come show day. So, yeah, man. Then obviously show day, we'll be there ready, man, ready to get back to the body slamming, the wrestling, the old school, the lockups, the headlocks, and you'd be like, dude, I could do that in MMA, dude. I could do that in, oh my god, like, like you,
why not?
or even in boxing, you'd be like, damn, look, he threw that nice elbow, and I saw the way he threw his hand, and like I like the way he struck it too, and like, there's good, I get it, for that loyal fight fan that's not their cup of tea, I get it, but look, there's a new market out there, and we're trying to reach you. So all you gotta do is just reach out, touch me, and believe that come Thursday, you're coming. Yeah, baby. Yeah, you guys gonna have fun. So much fun, man.
I can't wait. I'll be there. I will obviously socially distant. We'll see, hug
Well,
everyone
dude,
there.
well that's the thing too, because me and you, we've been tested. We could hug. We're safe. So there's no, it's all groovy, dude. It's all good in the neighborhood. So
That's it,
yeah, bro,
man.
I miss you, brother. So I'm gonna give
Miss you too. Yeah, exactly. We
yeah,
got to
man.
get there. No, man, but I can't wait to get into the OC Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa Thursday night for the very first. You can't do first the second time. The very first Lucha Libre event for Englebright Promotions. I cannot wait. You shouldn't either, and you shouldn't sleep on getting tickets, season tickets to Englebright Promotions because it is one of the best bangs for your buck, bar none. But
Yeah.
for Fernando Lepe, I'm According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, consider liking, sharing, subscribe, not only Soca Fights, but According to Woods on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you at the fights.
Woo! Ding ding.